Hey guys, Antonio here with another video on Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. And before we get started, click that subscribe button down low, follow along with more videos sent to your inbox every single week. Here we go, let's get started. So, today we're talking about silence the enemy within. And this is all about your mindset towards finances and financial freedom. So the single biggest threat to your financial freedom is your brain, your emotions. Right? It is the emotions of the moment that eventually get you to end up selling a stock when you shouldn't, or end up buying a stock when you shouldn't. Right? That difference is something that you need to pay attention to, but it's only something that you will notice with your emotions. When you come to master your emotions, when you come to step back and realize, I shouldn't be doing this in the moment, or I should be doing this and I'm not doing this in the moment. That's when you'll realize. That's when you'll take control. Once you can take control of your brain, then you can easily handle your finances. And another important point for this chapter is that your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe that what you are doing right now will get you financially free, and you can hold through the recession, hold all your shares through the recession, and on the other end of the recession, your money will rise back up again, even higher than it was before, then you will shape your reality and you will make that money, right? But if your belief system tells you that you are going to end up losing money, right? So you end up selling money at this point in time, in the middle of a recession, when everything's at its lowest. You end up losing money, then you create your reality because you sold at a lower point than you bought. There you go, you created your reality. So here Tony Robbins talks about 6 mistakes and 6 solutions on how you can help your mindset, your financial freedom mindset. So first is seeking confirmation of beliefs. Right? We have this psychological problem where when we believe something, we go out of our way to find things that will support your belief. So if you believe that the only way to become financially free is through stocks, then you will look for evidence of people that became financially free through stocks. And you will ignore all the other evidence of people becoming financially free through so many other ways, right? Through bonds, through real estate, through their own business, whatever it ends up being, right? You're going to ignore all that. So the solution here is that you need to ask better questions. Right? Ask those questions that you don't know about. Ask questions about topics you know nothing about, and find the qualified people to answer those questions. Right? Don't ask just a random hobo on the street. Ask someone specifically that knows about that topic. The second mistake is that you believe that recent events are ongoing trends. So one thing that's happening right now is that Bitcoin is skyrocketing through the roof. Right? The price is so high, and people are making a lot of money off of it. That is a recent event. But you might think that that's an ongoing trend, that Bitcoin has always been going up and never went down. And that's simply not true. And it probably will go down soon, right? It can only go up for so long. What goes up must come down. So from this, you might say, I want to put more of my portfolio to Bitcoin. So what you end up doing is end up buying more Bitcoin right now. And because of that, when the Bitcoin goes down, you end up losing a lot of money that you put in. Because you bought it at a high point, and you thought that it was an ongoing trend, that if you put the money in, it's always going to make money. That's not true. The key here is to not sell out and get rid of your plan. It's to rebalance. So if you said you were going to have 7.5% of Bitcoin, and it went up throughout the year, but you didn't add any more than 7.5%. At the end of the year, you rebalance your portfolio. Let's say it moved up from 7.5 to 15. What you can do then is now rebalance your portfolio by selling half of what you have in Bitcoin and buying out smaller shares. Things that you don't have enough percentage in. If you said you needed 40% bonds, you only had 30. You have to use that 7.5% to buy bonds. That's how it works. And what is that rebalancing force you to do? It forces you to sell at a high point and buy at a low point. You're buying bonds when they're lower, and you're selling the Bitcoin when it was at a higher point. So don't sell out, but rebalance. 3 is overconfidence. right? Ego is the enemy. You might believe that you know so much about a topic, right? But in reality, was it Aristotle or Plato that said that something along the lines of all I know is that I don't know everything, or I don't know much, right? If one of them, someone who studies all the time, studies philosophy, says that they don't know much, then how can you sit here saying that you know much? I'm sure you're not studying as much as they are. So you need to get honest with yourself. That is the solution here. Get honest with yourself. Realize that there's areas in life that you don't know much about. There's areas in finances that you don't know much about. I don't know a lot about finances, right? I'm here teaching you this information so you can learn from something I learned from this book. But there's so much more that I don't know, and I'm being honest with myself here. I'm not being overconfident in that sense. Fourth is that greed and quick wins will get you to financial freedom. But in reality, it's a marathon and not a sprint, right? That's the solution. You need to think about the long term, not the short term. The long term will not get you there. The short term, people are lazy. People don't believe in putting work in over the long term. What people end up doing is they end up trying so hard over the short term to make a quick buck. They might spend so much time on the short term trying to make it. At that point, it becomes gambling. But when you set up your portfolio properly, what ends up happening is that you can make money over the long term, but at a slower rate. But it's safe. It's staying close to home. What do I mean by home is the areas you are from, right? And the way around this is expanding your horizons. If you live in the United States and you only invest in the United States, you are missing out on the capital gains from the rest of the world. Now, the United States might be a huge supplier for this, right? A huge supplier for capital gains. But it's up to you to invest in other areas in order to get those gains as well. So expand your horizons, invest in Japan, invest in other places, I don't know, whatever you don't invest in, invest. Try out new things. Sixth is that the loss-averse mind is powerful, right? Your mind is loss-averse. It is so much more scared of losing money than it is of making money. And you need to prepare yourself. That is the key. Prepare yourself against this. Build up your mind with these mistakes and realize that if you stick to it, if you know that over the long term it's going to work out, then you can stay true to yourself and not give up and not give in. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed today's video on silencing the enemy within. Gonna leave a link in the description down below for you to purchase a copy of this book on Amazon. Highly suggest you buy this book. Easy book on finance for anyone trying to read it. Plus Tony Robbins, the great guy, why not support him? As always guys, remember that a chapter a day allows for success to make way. I will catch you in the next one.